I'm not Mitch Connor, and this narrative is getting ridiculous. ISIS revamps recruitment with savvy professional broadcasts. Of course, this article doesn't leave a link for the broadcast, but after a selection of tunes, the presenter with an American accent offers a glimpse at our main headlines. Paris, but American accent. And ISIS extremists have just seized 3 Iraqi cities. A bomb blows up a factory, killing everyone inside. Extremists destroy 4 enemy Hummers and an armored vehicle. The newscast tone sounds much like National Public Radio in the United States, but this is Al Bayan, the ISIS radio targeting European recruits. Why is it speaking in English with an American accent then? Most of Europe, their main language is not English. French, Spanish, German, etc. But touting recent triumphs in the campaign to carve out a caliphate, yeah. The good news is, all news is good news for Al-Bayan's soldiers of the caliphate. In this narrative, the enemy always flees into disgrace or is killed. The broadcasts end with a swell of music and a gentle English message. We thank our listeners for tuning in. The tension between the smooth Western-style production and the extremist content shows how far the hardcore Islamic propaganda machine has come since 2012, when an aging Frenchman posed in front of a black and white jihadi flag and threatened France in the name of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. Footage was grainy with minimal production values and released on a relatively obscure regional website. By contrast, Al Bayan reaches thousands of listeners every day via links shared on social networks, helping to swell the ranks of Westerners, projected this year to reach a total of up to 10,000, fighting for the ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Okay. It shows how far the propaganda machine has come since 2012. Okay. Because it's not ISIS doing it. And we'll see exactly who's behind it here. Or at least there's a chance it's being given to them and they're putting it out there for whoever's actually making it, but I will get to that. ISIS videos sorry. And the time it took to bring the Frenchman Gilles Lagoon to trial, his European successors in violent jihad overturned the recruitment script in ways that might impress a New York PR agency. Yeah, sure, they're that good. Yeah. ISIS videos come with thumbing beats, handsome, clear-eyed young men, and editing techniques that call to mind tourism commercials or ads for the latest console game. A typical week of recruitment now includes multiple newscasts in 3 languages, except the good news is about suicide attacks instead of traffic reports and baseball scores. A polished video directed at French recruits shows trainees leaping through burning hoops and swinging across monkey bars over flames. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. I've seen numerous ones that they're just pathetic looking. They're fucking retarded. Multilingual posts by jihadis urge people to follow them, and a metastasizing network of tweets spills forth from the smartphones of armchair cheerleaders. Cameramen themselves are heroes in this information war. Media. An unnamed fighter says in a video dedicated to these PR mujahideen is half of the battle, if not its majority. Of course, that's always the case in war, isn't it? Except, it's not ISIS. An April video calling for doctors to join ISIS shows physicians in immaculate scrubs as clean and functioning medical equipment. It features a clean-shaven, blue-eyed Australian moving about in a pristine neonatal ward, promising new recruits that they will be helping Muslims who suffer from a lack of qualified medical care. The video has the feel of a daytime television public service message. In an exchange on jihadi radio station Ask.fm the same week, a person identifying himself as a British resident of ISIS territories promised newcomers free medical school with minimal entry requirements. Meanwhile, in a series of tweets, another person purporting to be a Briton praised subsidized gas, free water, and dental care superior to anything offered in the West. Naturally, the arrogance will kick in and they will deny the truth and claim their way is better. Laugh out loud. Next time you pay your bill, smile, the person said. According to a selection of tweets called by the Site Intelligence Group. Site Intelligence Group, always involved in all this fraud, from the fake Bin Laden videos and audios to all of this, Jihadi John execution videos, yada, 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 going on since, last July? Maybe June? I forget, it's so long ago. There's much more to this, so I'm going to jump around from here. You can read the whole article if you like. It's linked in the description. Goes on, they want Europeans in general. They want anyone to come to fight, to create the Islamic State, to make the caliphate, said Sebastien Pietrasanta, a French lawmaker who is spearheading nascent efforts to de-radicalize young extremist recruits. We estimate there could be 5,000 within the year. There could be 10,000. We are facing not just a problem of security, but a problem of society. How did you come to that number? Did they ever share that? You know, it's just like with a disaster. An estimated up to 10,000 could be dead. You never, ever, ever share how you come to that figure. Anyway, and the group isn't just calling for weathered would-be fighters, as its new multimedia drive shows. Anyone willing to help in the war zones of Syria and Iraq is welcome. One-way travel is encouraged but not mandatory, at least for men. Yeah, because women have to go there and be their fucking whore wives and shit, you know, and their slave wives. Is what they keep telling you. But, well, God. Anyway, anyone from anywhere can recruit for ISIS. A March study by Brookings Institute researchers J.M. Berger and Jonathan Morgan found more than 46,000 active Twitter accounts supporting Islamic State in a 2-month period. And I'm sure most, if not all of those, are fraudulent as hell. I've already shown with the Garland shooting how those tweets were fraudulent. Site messed up, posting some at the wrong time and out of chronological order. Anyway, meanwhile, Western government warnings about the dangers of joining ISIS have barely dented the rate of departures. Those who have lived unhappily under ISIS rarely offer a compelling narrative, in mortal fear of retaliation. And Western nations are having a hard time combating rhetoric that they, and the Western media that ISIS so successfully mimics, are untrustworthy. Why is it that they so successfully mimic Western media, I wonder? Now, for those who have lived unhappily under ISIS, rarely offer a compelling narrative. If they get out of those fucking countries, what the fuck do they have to really fear? I mean, I've already been over one completely fraudulent ISIS defector interview, okay? And, I can't remember the name of it. You can tell from the picture on my videos list of, you know, a guy with his face all wrapped up. He has like a red bandana over the lower part of his face and, you know, like head covered, like everything except for his eyes are covered. A few paragraphs down it says, whatever they are looking for, ISIS promises Sharia law, a deeper purpose in life, a fight against a dictator, aid work, automatic weapons, pathological violence for those so inclined. Okay, so we want psychopaths who like to kill people, and the, you know, freaking pathology of it all. Oh, the pathological lying is what I mean by the pathology of it all. That just... how does that sell it? You know, it's like, it's one thing, you know, to fight for a benevolent cause and sell it as that, but pathological violence. I'm sure that's their own wording here, though, for whoever wrote the article. Of course, in the next paragraph, they mention that the success of ISIS recruiting is to its understanding of what many young people yearn for, as well as the group's ability to harness cutting-edge technology and personal connections. I've been over this. The Middle East is not nearly as developed technologically as Europe and America are. Yet they're so able to harness this technology, sure. As an example of that, well, here's mobile subscriptions for the Arab states. Only 25% of the population. Broadband subscriptions. Or is this the whole... Yeah. Sorry, no, that is the percentage of the population. So only 1/4 of all the Arab states even have a mobile subscription, mobile phone. And as of 2014, 3% have a broadband subscription. Okay. Here's a little map of it. And... so we can see here, this color and this color match. That's 10 to 20% there for fixed broadband internet subscriptions. Here, how the fuck does it get up to 125%? 60 to 125. Maybe, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Saudi Arabia sure has quite a lot there, though. And, oh, a lot of these other countries really, oh, they got no data right there. Sorry, I just clicked on it to grow it. As you can see, those two countries. That appears to be Iraq and Iran. They have no data on them. That country there. Oh, that happens to be Syria. So, Syria, wow, that's between 0 and 4%. Well, well. So they have so much internet access there. Number of internet users. Darkest color means 100 million. Look at the United States. China. India. And, hey, this color, that's between 2 and 5 million. Hey, look who you got here. Iran has quite a few, yes, but Iraq not so much, and Syria between 5 and 10 million. Oops. And by percentage, between 0 and 20%, there's Iraq. Between 20 and 40% is Syria and Iran. Yeah, that's 2012 numbers, but you get the point. A little bit further on in the article, an ebook of travel advice feeds on the excitement of advising people to bring military-grade knives, a compass, and solar chargers because you will be minimizing wastage and polluting less. Oh, so they're fucking caring about about pollution, but they want a nuke. Wait, don't nukes pollute like a motherfucker? What's going on here? It recommends bringing an extra set of clothes for changing after the dash under barbed wire. You might get your clothes ripped. Few have abandoned life under Islamic State are willing to talk about it, although security officials say about a third of European fighters have returned home. We already went over that, why they refuse to talk about it, supposedly. And the next paragraph reiterates that, but right now it's really only ISIS who is telling a story, he said. To have a counter story being told by a former fighter would potentially be very powerful. They've already done that. Months ago, I analyzed a whole frickin' interview by, I believe it was Sky News, and that I was just talking about. Anyway, there'll be no counter story from the young man from Belgium who joined ISIS after becoming convinced that his Arab name torpedoed any future in his homeland. Go ahead and pause it and read the rest of the article for yourself if you like. It's just more BS. As usual,